So let's take a look at another example of what we can do with a fixed indexed annuity to create guaranteed lifetime monthly or annual income that is going to be there no matter what happens in the future. And that's certainly an important step in our retirement planning. So we're going to look right now at Happy Guy here. Happy Guy is 62 years old. He lives in Maryland, and he's built up a pretty nice nest egg over his lifetime in his IRA 401k account. And what he wants to do is take half of it and put it into an annuity that's going to create monthly guaranteed income when he needs it. And certainly will take a lot of the stress off his plate as he goes into retirement. So he's taken $750,000. We're going to look at an annuity where he's at age 62 right now. He's looking to start income at age 72, so he's going to have a 10-year deferral to let the money grow within the annuity to create the monthly income. So as we look at this scenario, and again, it's not terribly complicated. This is going to be a single scenario. We can make it joint. It makes some difference, but not a lot of difference in the monthly income, but it does make some difference. But when we're looking at this from a income standpoint, we come up with our choices of carriers. And again, I'm looking at only A and better. And, we've got a couple A minuses at the top, which I'm not terribly high on. I prefer to have a carrier that I'm familiar with and have heard of. ViStar and TruePath, not exactly what we're looking for. Nationwide, great carrier, certainly well-known name, been around for a long time. What I see it missing there is enhanced payments. So I'm a fan of enhanced payments, not always super important, but what enhanced payments do is if you're admitted into a nursing home, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be admission into a nursing home, it can just be losing some activities of daily living, it will double the monthly income payment for a period of up to 5 years to help offset that cost. So it's certainly a positive thing. Nationwide does not show that in this scenario, but right below it, Midland National does. So in this scenario, I'm looking kind of at Midland National. It's not a huge drop in annual income. So that $750 would turn into $126,900 annually for the rest of his life, starting at age 72. That's a pretty nice chunk of income to be coming in every year for the rest of his life. So we're going to take a look at this product on Midland National, and again, pretty easy to understand. We don't want to overcomplicate this, and there's a couple of different ways to look at this. Strictly for the monthly income, that's what we want guaranteed. Without a doubt, it's locked in, not going to change. It is what it is, and that's what it will be going forward. So when we look at the illustration here, you can see he starts with $750,000, and then what it's going to do starting at year 11, after a 10-year deferral, it's going to have that $126,000 a year in income. And it will go on in perpetuity. For as long as Happy Guy is living a happy life, he's going to get the $196,000 in income. Fantastic. Pretty easy. Not too complicated. You can see there is guaranteed death benefit that goes along with it. If he were to die before that happens, there is a death benefit. And again, these are the guaranteed numbers. This is with zero return from the market whatsoever, but there will be some return. So it's just a question of how much, and you can't predict the future, but we don't want to rely necessarily on the returns. But for the $126,900, we do not have to rely on returns. It is guaranteed no matter what happens between now and when he is 72 years old. Let's take a look at the hypothetical. And I don't talk a whole lot about the hypothetical, but it is reality. So in this product, it has a participation rate of 25% of the S&P 500. So whatever growth the S&P 500 has, 25% of it will be credited to his account. So it gives some positive upside to this. You can see the $126,900 remains the same. Doesn't change, didn't change. Doesn't matter whether it's guaranteed or hypothetical. That $126,900 is there if he wants to have it when he reaches that 10-year deferral. But what this does, which when we factor in, and this is based on the S&P 500, is it increases the contractual value. You can see the contractual value is increasing over time based on that participation in the S&P 500. Pretty easy to see. At the end of the term, it's hit 961, 192. And what will happen is at that point, he will have the chance to either surrender the contract, take a lump sum out. You can see in these cash surrender value, it's 855,619. You can also see the death benefit has risen along the way as well. And again, this is hypothetical, but it's pretty much realistic at the same time. We know there will be growth in the S&P 500. And the way these contracts work that people don't always understand is, let's say the S&P 500 dropped 20% one year, had a 20% down year. Your exposure was zero. You would stop at zero. You would never get into the negative numbers. But the next year, you would start your growth from where that 20% drop was. So it doesn't have to recover to get back. It's where it is at that starting point, regardless of how far it dropped previously. So you have either the choice of taking the 126,900 a year, every year for the rest of your life, pretty good choice, or the 855,619. There might be a better product available at that time that we shift the 855 into and create better than the 126.9, or maybe doesn't need the income at that point and wants to increase it for 5 years later or 10 years later. It just gives us all the options to do that kind of stuff. So it makes a lot of sense to have those flexible choices when the time comes. So I'm happy to help with any of this. Visit my website, rolloverup.com. Book a call with me. We can talk about it if it makes sense. Happy to run an illustration for you. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make a video for you explaining your illustration and show you exactly how things work. We just want to be as clear and transparent as possible. Make sure it works in your interest and we get everything right. So I hope you found this helpful. Have a fantastic day.